Good morning and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, our virtual home, where we invite you to come on in for an hour of music and inspiration and joy and just being together. I'm Maxine Kaye, spiritual leader of this beloved community, and we've been continuing to connect for over a year virtually. We share the teachings of Ernest Holmes. We learn and we practice the basic principles of science of mind, and we support each other as we employ these spiritual tools for very practical, everyday purposes, both to enhance our personal lives and the world itself. So you're most welcome to be with us today, wherever you may be geographically and wherever you may be on your spiritual journey. We're very, very glad you chose to spend this hour with us. And no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you're welcome here. So we love creating a world that works for all as we awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And we have a purpose statement here, and I'd invite you to share it with me if you choose to. Living, loving, learning. Spirituality that works. And now we'll have an opening song by Sue Riley, and it's called I Choose Love.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one sun. I choose love. Yes, I do. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose
That's a great choice. It's what we can make it every day. It makes a difference, doesn't it? Well, I think it's time for just a little meditation. Just as here the rain has cleaned up and the environment, there's nice sweet smells out there. Let's let the water of love sort of pour over us as we go into our sweet meditative time. And let's begin by taking a deep, holy breath of life. Just fill our bodies and our emotions and our mind with that divine presence that is expressing itself as the chi, as the prana, as the breath of life itself. Take a couple of deep, deep breaths of life and feel that circulation taking place within us. And let the love wash over us. And let's choose to experience the essence and the action of the love itself. And now just breathing naturally and normally, let's let that breath serve as a pathway to our heart. And let's come into our hearts now. Anchor deeply in the one divine life, which is always, always embracing us, forever supporting us, no matter what else may be going on in our lives or in the world. And from this sacred space, where we feel connected and where we feel whole and complete, in our mind's eye, let's just take a little look at the external activity in our lives and in the world itself, just long enough to notice all the changes that are taking place. And as we look through the eye of the heart, which is the eye of love, we are steadfast. And we see that all those external changes have nothing to do with the infinite love and divine wisdom within us and within all sentient beings. For the love is steady, the wisdom is constant. Peace is now. We trust. For God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Let's listen to the love. Let's deepen our faith. And let's come into this sacred silence for a moment with open hearts and minds, receiving whatever we are asking: inspiration, clarity, harmony. Come into the silence and be open and receptive to what the divine essence has to share with us. Let's give gratitude for what we continue to receive, realizing we are held in love. We are guided by wisdom, and all is well. And now I would like to invite our practitioner intern, Cheryl Macklin, to open us up for the morning. Cheryl?
Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Cheryl Macklin. I am a practitioner intern from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. This morning, I would like to start by sharing 2 quotes from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. The first is from page 68. The ultimate cause back of all things must be one, since life cannot be divided against itself. The infinite must be one, for there could not be two infinite beings. Whatever change takes place must take place within this one. But this one must be changeless, for being one and only, it could not change into anything but itself. Page 204. God is all. There is but one power, intelligence, and consciousness in the universe. But one presence. This one presence cannot change. There is nothing for it to change into but itself. It is changeless, and it is my life now. It is in me now. I state this treatment for the Sunday celebration, and I state it in the first person. I invite you to take it for yourselves. There is one perfect presence, one life, one love, one wholeness. It is eternal. It is the one and only source. It is God. And God is love and light and peace and balance and harmony. And God is changeless, ever present, the one and only. And I know that I am an expression of God. God lives, moves, and has its being in me right here and right now. God is in me now, that perfect presence, eternal and changeless, is one with me. And I rest with ease and grace in this knowing, in this perfect presence, in my deep connection with the truth of who I am, with the God within. Regardless of any changes that appear to be happening, I know that I am always supported and guided by my connection with the divine, by the truth that I am one with the changeless presence at all times. I open to experience this perfect presence as it fills me from our celebration today, as it expresses through Dr. Maxine and all the music and everyone working to put this presentation together and to bring it into my home. I am so grateful to know this. I am so grateful to participate with this oneness. I am grateful to be part of this deep connection of spirit expressing as the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living Sunday celebration. I know that this perfect presence is the truth of me now. I gratefully accept this truth, and I release my word to the law, knowing that the law only ever says yes. I am so grateful. I let it be so, and so it is.
Thank you, Cheryl. Beautiful way to begin. Now, would you join us in our affirmation? Deeply grateful for my source of stability and serenity. I move forward with grace and ease, confident in each peaceful and powerful step forward. Okay, I'm calling the kids. Come around, kids. I'm going to pretend like I can see you, because I always, always can see you in my heart. So good morning. I'm happy to be with you. I'm so happy you chose to come and be with us for just a few minutes. So I want to ask you, I don't know if you know this game. It's one that I knew as a kid. It's a card game, and it's not a real fun card game. Have you ever heard of 52 pickup? It's where somebody takes all 52 cards in the deck and throws them all over the floor, and you get to go pick them up. Doesn't that sound like fun? I don't know if you still have it these days, but the truth is, even though those cards are scattered all over the floor, the whole deck is still there. Now, it may look like things are a mess, and once you put them in order again, they're all still there, just as they were before that naughty person threw them on the floor. So How about, is this a touchy point? How about your rooms? Can you see the floor in your rooms? I have to tell you a story on my boys. When they were little, they had bunk beds. And when I'd ask them to go clean up the room, it looked fine until I would get down on the floor and look under the bed. And if someone had been able to lift up those bunk beds, there would have been a perfect rectangle of stuff underneath the bed. You can't relate to this, right? You wouldn't have done that. And it was like, okay, I understand now why you did that so quickly. Let's see if we can approach it in a little different way. But you see, the ability to have it all tidy and nice again was always there, because that was a temporary situation. A little too much, but still it was a temporary situation. Now, how about other things that might happen in your life? Have you ever felt a friend hurt your feelings somehow? Or you hurt your own feelings by misunderstanding something? We do that, don't we? Well, something may seem not to feel good. It might feel like it's kind of broken for a minute. But what's so is, when you and your friend talk things through, you get a better understanding, and your friendship becomes even better. So it's okay when things kind of go hooey every now and then, if you're willing to look to see, how can we bring this back to the love that's there? How can we bring it back to the wholeness that is there? See, God knows how to bring us back to happiness and to wholeness, even when things look like a mess. Love is always there. Love is the greatest healer in the world. And understanding is always available. Harmony is underneath everything that looks like confusion, including the 52 cards on the floor. So let's let divine love keep us peaceful and happy. Everything can go back together again, even better than it was before. So you go back to what you were doing. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Well, I think it's time to talk to the grown-up folks. You remember 52 pickup, don't you? Well, this is the last Sunday of April. Our theme for the year from Centers for Spiritual Living has been Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And that's a beautiful one for the entire year. It's a beautiful one for our entire lives, isn't it? And the April theme has been transformation. And today's talk is the underlying supportive changeless one. I want us to get really back to basics here this morning, so that we're not getting our knickers in a knot over what's going on temporarily in our personal lives or what's happening in the world. There's a lot, and there's a lot of good coming up through it. We're finding that underlying everything, the unrest, the hatred, and so forth, there is a carpet of love and harmony and understanding. That's what we need to be focusing on at this point, don't you think? 3 quotes I'd like to share with you this morning. The first is from 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And Ernest Holmes goes on from there saying, God's ideas and attributes are eternal and cannot change. In change, it is the changeless. In time, it is the eternal and timeless. In things, the Creator manifests His power and glory forevermore. And then one of my favorites from one of my favorite children's books that I know was really written for us, The Little Prince. He says, "And now, here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." Do you love it? Everyone's saying the same thing in different ways. And speaking of getting back to basics, we have not for some time read the Declaration of Principles. May I share that with you now? This was written in the 20s by Ernest Holmes, and he called it What We Believe. And don't you think it's a good thing to visit from time to time? We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. We believe the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in people, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. We believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of people, and that any person may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by a creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that our life is God's life. That's a great thing to revisit from time to time, isn't it? You see, there is something, and I would give that a capital S, a great something out of which everything and everyone is made. And it remains constant. It remains loving, supportive of all things at all times. And how wonderful it is that no matter what may be happening in our lives or in the world, that we can absolutely depend upon the dependable. You know, if we spent just a few moments each day going within to the kingdom of heaven, which is that which is forever and ever expanding, if we just spent a few minutes sitting quietly once in a while, stopping the busyness and remembering who we are, and remembering that God is infinite and is ever present, we would remember that there is something upon which we can absolutely depend. It's essential, especially with all the goings-ons and all the changes and the uncertainties. We must feel certain about that which is changeless, that which is underlying, supportive, the changeless one. And as we connect with that, we empower ourselves. And as we empower ourselves, we empower others. It's a great life. This is what we get to do. It's a good mission. I like it. You see, we rely upon this eternal reality, We rely upon the indwelling harmony and the underlying wisdom. And we must remember, particularly in unsettling times, that the greater the upset, the larger is the opening for truth to be established and to prevail. You know, we can really give thanks for every upset we experienced individually and collectively, because it is an opening for a greater truth to reveal itself. Isn't that a better way to think of things? It happens to be true when we give it the opportunity to express through us. Because harmony is always, always ready to prevail. Wisdom is always, always ready to guide us. And we know that, as Cornel West said, love is what... It's the other way around. Justice is what love looks like in public. Actually, it could be either way. Love is what justice looks like in public. It's the same. Can you think about love and justice being the same? They truly are. And we are seeing a greater movement toward fairness. More people are insisting on mutual caring and mutual respect. And we are those people, aren't we? We are insisting on opening our hearts to each other. We are focusing on bringing about a greater world through our own individual awareness, our own individual connection with Source, our remembering that there is something that can never be disturbed. And it is that greater something, which is the presence of the divine itself. It can never leave us. We can never leave it. And sometimes we do get some spiritual amnesia, don't we? We forget our source. We forget we are all connected to each other. And then we remind each other. And every step we take is supported and guided for our success. We begin remembering that the temporal is just that. It is not eternal. Remember that in the New Testament, there are so many passages that begin, and it came to pass, and it came to pass. And I love looking at that, realizing, thank God it did not come to stay. Everything comes to pass. Life is like this beautiful flowing river. And the temperature changes, and the flotsam and the jetsam changes. And the change is supposed to take place while the underlying changeless one is absolutely there, that we can depend on completely. Do you know that the universe conspires for success? I'm thinking about 32 years ago, and I know it was 32 years ago, because my beloved firstborn grandchild, who will be married later this year, Stephanie, she was just a little baby, and she and her mother were driving at the time that the Oakland fires broke out. I don't know if any of you were aware of those, but we were very aware of them. We were living in the area. There is a tunnel between Contra Costa County, or the East Bay, and Oakland and San Francisco. And it is on Route 24. It is called the Caldecott Tunnel. This fire broke out in the Oakland Hills just above Route 24 and above the Caldecott Tunnel. And it raged. And it raged, and it brought down houses and structures and trees, and it was terrible. And just as it was hitting its peak and beginning to head down toward the tunnel, my then daughter-in-law and my beloved Stephanie, granddaughter, were the last car to go through the tunnel, and they closed it. I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful. So grateful. And then, after it finally was under control, and it took a long time, these beautiful, beautiful homes on the hill were gone. just gone. And whenever we would drive past it, it was like seeing a moonscape. It was just blackened. It was a terrible sight. But you know what? It did not take that long before the seeds that were already in the ground and the planting that ultimately took place and the rebuilding that occurred brought new growth, beautiful, healthy new growth. And people rebuilt. This is the courage of the human spirit. People rebuilt. And if you drove by there today, you wouldn't have a clue that there had ever been this terrible fire. It's beautiful. It's harmonious. It just seems natural, like, gee, it's always been that way. It has very personal significance to me. And so we need to remember that there is a wholeness, an unimpeachable wholeness in the universe that always expresses itself. It's been said that you can trust a universe that creates flowers. You can trust a universe that will bring itself back to wholeness. You know, the terrible fires that happen in all kinds of places, ultimately, especially in a forest, the seedlings begin to come up. And what looked like devastation, that was temporary, it was changing. Underneath that is the changeless, unimpeachable wholeness of this universe, and it will prevail. And it was a good thing to remember that it isn't I of myself. Oh, Jesus was a beautiful master teacher. The amazing things he accomplished, the love he brought to the world, the awareness that he began to inspire within people, that the kingdom of God was within, that we are all connected, that the things that he did we can do. He said an even greater, but he was very clear. He didn't do any of these things by his human self, but by the divinity that was within him. And we need to remember this too. It is never I of myself, but the wise, creative power within us that is doing all the work. So think about a time in your own life where things seem to just fall apart. Anybody have any of those? Your life just seemed to fall apart. Maybe you lost a job. Perhaps there was a broken relationship. There may have been lingering illness that you thought you'd just never get out of. But something greater than you, right where you were, lifted you out of the pain, whether it was physical, emotional, mental. And ultimately, didn't you get a better job? And ultimately, didn't you finally discover a healthier, more conscious, more loving relationship? And didn't you discover that the unimpeachable wholeness of the universe was showing up in your life again and again and again in every way you could imagine? Because there is the underlying, supportive, changeless one. Let everything out here change. You're supposed to. You know, things come and go. The creative process is such, whether it is on the infinite level or the level that you and I use, it's the same creative process. We bring things into being. The infinite brings things into being. Those forms change. They're supposed to change. Things come and go. Underlying is the infinite harmony, the infinite presence, the divine power, the peace, the goodness that must express itself. A firm foundation is an essential springboard for our growth. If we don't realize our firm foundation, it's going to be harder to grow. There'll be too much anxiety. There'll be too little faith. We want to rely and stand solidly on our firm foundation. And from that place, recognize that things come and go and they're supposed to. and that this changeless reality is that upon which we can depend. And when we have finally learned to rely deeply on Source, it's then we can reframe any past experiences and bless them, forgive whatever needs to be forgiven, and see them as good. That helps to build a strong foundation as well. You see, it is in understanding and appreciating the gifts that we receive from all of these challenges or frustrations and changes. It's when we understand and receive the gifts that we receive from difficult times that we open to our deep, authentic selves. We become better than we ever were because we become more of who we have always been. It's not different. It's just more real. It's who we truly are. It's like those beautiful seeds that grow up and become tall trees where there may have been devastation. We can move through all these devastating places in our lives, and let's not be drama queens and kings anyway. There was a wonderful nun years ago who began writing greeting cards, and my favorite one was, make your I'll get the words in the right order. Make your, hold on, don't go anywhere. Go get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Make your melodrama a melodrama. Yeah. Make them mellow. We don't need to get all wound up in things. It doesn't help. It keeps us from recognizing the peace and the power and the harmony and the beauty and the love and the wisdom within us. Let's just stop and breathe a minute. Come back to that place of Source. And when things start to get too dramatic, just make your melodrama a melodrama and enjoy the play. You know, it's all a movie anyway, right? It's a good thing to remember that. You know, this month has all been about transformation, starting with our Easter celebrations and the transformation. This is something that is going to be the bottom line for our entire lives, isn't it? Individually and globally, transformation. And yet I was thinking recently that since there is this underlying wholeness, the supportive, changeless one, that it's not really a transformation, is it? It's a revelation of what's always been true. You have always been an intelligent, loving, wise, creative expression of the living God. And so as we transform, as we change the habits, as we change our consciousness, then what's so beautiful is that the revelation of the truth of who we have always been emerges. We get to fall in love with ourselves all over again for the first time, recognizing we are individual manifestations of the one precious life. And that which is changeless moves us through all of the changes that take place in our lives and in the greater life, in the world itself. Will you say with me, God is my source. There is none other. I dip deeply into divine stability and sweet serenity. I am moved by grace, and gratitude leads me into my firm foundation. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. And now is the time that we celebrate our abundance. Let's celebrate our abundance together today. And if you see our center as a close source for you to your spiritual good, well, we invite you to share it with us. And so There are ways and means on the screen for you to do that. But let's take our gift in our hand, metaphorically, because most of us give in other ways, especially now. Let's take our gift in our hand, knowing this is a great gift we've been given by the universe. It is ours to share and to circulate. So let's hold it to our heart if you wish, and give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for the divine bounty as we say together our prosperity affirmation. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. And I am filled with the Spirit, and it is health to my body, it is peace to my mind, it is joy, it is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. Oh, it is health to my body, it is peace to my mind. My simple prayer, thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there, closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air.
Welcome to the GPCSL Weekend News with Edie Janik.
Hello everyone, we are Edie Janik and happy to serve on the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living Board of Trustees. I'm here today with lovely springtime bugs. I'm here today with your announcements. So thanks for joining us. We're really glad you're here. I want to remind you that we have such interesting and inspirational Sunday talks and daily love notes from Dr. Maxine and Rev Mike. And if you ever miss any of those or would like to revisit them even, you can go to our website at www.cslphilly.org and click on the orange Watch Live button and enter into the whole library of wonderful messages. So please remember to check that out. I have an update on our reopening. It's actually a message from our entire board of trustees. So that I don't miss any of the details, I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. The news from the federal, state, and local governments, as well as the CDC, keeps getting better and better with regard to the opportunity to return to in-person activities, which we're really excited about. Are you excited about it? I know you're excited about it. Your Board of Trustees has thoughtfully considered the regulations and guidelines and make our decision each month on how to proceed, specifically with our beloved community in mind. We are eager to return to in-person operations, to share the joy and love that has been pent up for over a year. We continue to carefully weigh the consequences, both intended and unintended, of opening up. At our board meeting in April, we decided to continue remote operations for the month of May. However, we are using this time to finalize our plan to open as soon as the risks are mitigated as much as possible by vaccination distribution and the continued drop of the positivity rate in our local area. A reopening team has been put together and is busy working on our reopening plan. One specific area of effort is focusing on creating the physical infrastructure to be able to hold live celebrations that can simultaneously be live streamed. We're working out the logistics of making this happen so that those who seek to live, love, and learn with our community can choose to do so remotely or in person. Additionally, and again with the guidance from the CSL Home Office, We are in the process of cleaning, spacing chairs for social distancing, contact tracing, etc. Yes, all of this planning and preparation is in process now. If you're interested in serving the community by participating in these activities, either as a one-time activity or ongoing, please send Linda an email at admin@cslphilly.org or call the office at 610-695-0375 and just let her know. We're so grateful for your continued support of GPCSL through your generous financial contributions, your virtual attendance through Facebook and YouTube, and most especially your positive consciousness with regard to navigating these turbulent times. With your support, GPCSL will remain a beacon of light, offering inspiration, wisdom, joy, peace, power, and light to all who seek it. Lovingly, your Board of Trustees. So, that is exciting news. Lastly, I'd like to ask, I have a request. Social media experience. Do you have social media experience and less than an hour per week to help increase our online presence? We're looking for a few people who could lend a hand in any of these areas, posting to local newspapers, posting to Facebook, Meetup, Instagram, or other platform. Less than an hour a week to help with these areas, to help people find us and join our wonderful community and hear our wonderful, inspiring messages. If you're able to assist in this area, you can contact Tina Richards at 267-773-9773 or by email at tr_richards@yahoo.com. And that's all of your announcements for today. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
I love that. It was awesome. Well, now we'll have a closing song, one of my favorites by Karen Drucker, I Am Grateful.
Promise in this I promise in this I am great to keep my heart beating. I am great with every breath. Thank you. I am grateful. Thank you. I am great. I promise in this so blessed. I am great to keep my heart so blessed. I am great with every breath. So blessed. I'm grateful. Thank you. I am great. I promise in this so blessed. I am great to keep my heart so blessed. I am great with every breath. So blessed. So grateful. Thank you. I am great. I promise in this I am great to keep my heart so I am great with every breath. Thank you. I am grateful. Thank you. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I'm grateful. I am grateful, grateful. I am 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 grateful.
And so gratefully we go forward into this beautiful day, depending completely on the dependable and rejoicing that that source is ever, ever alive within us all. And so it is. Oh, I forgot.
Surprise me.
I surprised myself.